Hi, let's see. Yes, this time when I was sleeping and just about to wake up, and in between actually waking up and still submerged in my mind, and this has been happening for a few months now. I've always, right before waking up or on the brink of waking up, I would have immense difficulty distinguishing the reality conjured up by my mind and the reality that I'm in my bed under my blanket sleeping and breathing. And also now going to flag a point within myself where in seeing myself waking up momentarily, then saying to myself, okay, I'm just going to stay lying down and breathe, but actually drift off back into the mind again. I would then judge myself and, yes, saying to myself in a very harsh mental tone of voice, what the fuck are you doing, Castor? You know what fucking reality is. What the fuck are you doing? Saying you're going to breathe and then actually drift back into the mind. So instead of judging myself so harshly like that, and even throughout my day like that, in the same manner, rather seeing the point, correcting what needs to be corrected, correcting what needs to be corrected, and continuing with my physical participation here, breathing as the most basic of all physical participation. Yes, also today I found myself creating and generating a point within studying. Okay, this is what happened. I think about a few days ago, I was talking with a friend on the way back home, and she commented that she saw me studying all the time and saying that I was studying a lot. And before she commented about my studying, I had no concept whatsoever where I saw myself studying a lot. In fact, I tended to go to the opposite, where I always felt I wasn't studying enough, so I had to study some more, and more, and more, and rush, using that motivation as a justification, conjuring up this fake motivation that I'm not studying enough, and then creating from that make-believe idea an idea of rushing. So anyway, from the beginning, she commented that I was studying a lot, and then when I looked back at all of my past participation, I literally said to myself in my head, hey, I actually studied quite a lot these past few weeks. I actually digested most of the material that I need for my first 2 exams. And today I'm seeing how this point is, because of my allowance and acceptance, this point is developing into a play out where I would hold on to and focus on this idea that, oh, I'm studying a lot. And then within focusing on this idea, completely forgetting about my physical participation, my physical self-direction to direct myself to study, which reminds me of something from the Zen tradition where, well, someone said something along the lines of, a dad that says he is a good dad is not a good dad. A dad that says he is not a good dad is a good dad, good father, which describes the point I'm trying to express, but does not go into the specifics and laying out all of the points in physically spoken words. Anyway, that was just something that popped up as I was talking about that. What else? Yes, physical participation. Today I've had periods where I was intently within the point of physical participation as breathing, really focused within the breath and the act of breathing. And then there were points where I allowed and accepted myself to drift to distractions, namely entertainment or stimulation by watching Destiny material, all of the process logs that are shared by Destiny members, writings, and even just browsing through the Destiny material in the forum and on the website, instead of doing what I needed to do in the moment, which was study as comprehensively as I can with physics and with chemistry. And also, this was partly due to my allowed and accepted vagueness as to defining the purpose of studying as well as I can in physics and in chemistry. So in this log, I'd like to just state why I am pushing myself to do my best to study physics and chemistry and participate effectively in school in terms of academics as a first step. And I am directing and moving myself to be as effective as I can be within academics so that I may integrate myself smoothly into the world system and place myself in a position of greatest opportunity and possibility where these opportunities and possibilities are offered in more well-known universities than in not so well-known universities. Yes, just going back to a point, those periods where I was focusing intently on my physical participation, I found within myself a lot of silence. The silence of not thinking and worrying all of the time, and just doing what is here, living what is here. And in this experience, like so many times before, where I've documented this, I felt like a toddler that is learning to walk for the first time, wobbly within the act of walking. And after speaking with Bella, she revealed to me a point where I constantly and consistently did my best to please an idea that I made up in my head, where I have to be a good boy, this idea of a good boy, and have to do the right thing. And then I would hide this point by saying that I have to be a good boy and do the right thing for other people, to please other people, when in fact I was just using this idea of other people as a veil to deceive myself into thinking that my obligation to be a good boy and do the right thing has been imposed on me by other people, when in reality, physically, so to speak, I actually made up this idea and then made up this belief that I must please this idea of being a good boy, doing the right thing. Also, being extremely watchful and correcting myself within the point of perceiving myself to be better because I understand myself and what has controlled me than most people, which implies comparison, where I compare myself to other people and value that comparison, which also implies that I am defining myself according to other people's perceptions of me instead of seeing myself here, seeing who I am here, and seeing for myself. And just about in every vlog that I do, the underside of my knees would constantly vibrate. Just an interesting physical indication that I must deconstruct. Well, okay. Well, this point of me vibrating past, identifying with the past. Yeah, okay. Still, they were vibrating because I was still, within everything that I shared in this vlog, I was still identifying myself with who I was as the memories of myself, instead of seeing, realizing, and therefore living the change that is here and integrating this change as part of who I am. And also not yet fully understanding why this change that I experience and then experiencing here, why this change is who I am and what I am creating myself to be. Well, simply, this change is me because I am here, and this change is here. Therefore, change is here, I am here. Okay, is that all? So, one more flag point. When I begin physically participating and seeing how I am opening up for myself more possibilities within, from the perspective of seeing that doing what needs to be done is something that I can do, in fact, that is reachable, so to speak, within my accepted and allowed boundaries, in a sense. Seeing myself expand like that, I see myself reacting with feelings of worrying about what might happen, what if this happens, what if that happens, what if the whole world collapses, what if I collapse, what if everyone condemns me, what if everything goes wrong with me, if I expand, if I step over the picket fence, so to speak. Go out into the forest. And also flagging one more point where within this change, I would then go back into memories and constantly say to myself, oh, those were the times. Yeah, I actually used to live as that, as the memory that I am browsing through. And this happened before, and before I would do this until, and when I realize that I'm doing this, it's too late, and I sabotage my process and walk back into living the memories I browsed through. Is that all? No, just one more. Being watchful of wanting, needing, and desiring to perceive myself to be special because I understand what is controlling me. Just because I understand the reality of my situation doesn't mean that I'm better than anyone. In fact, it makes no difference at all. The only difference it makes is that I am placing myself into a position where I can change myself for the best, for what is best for all, and be who I need to be to support other people, therefore love my neighbor, instead of secretly spiting them in thought and in deed. Okay, thank you for watching.